Hi everyone. This is Vinayak Hegde. I'm the CTO in residence for Microsoft for Startups. Today we have a webinar on computer vision. So as you know, computer vision, there have been quite a few breakthroughs in computer vision in the recent past. And especially that is one of the reasons why neural networks have become popular. So in this seminar, we are going to talk in depth about the various use cases of computer vision, whether it is face recognition for security, sorting objects on conveyor belts, object identification images, or indexing or videos. But before we go on, let me quickly also introduce Hansal, who will be doing a short performance for us. Um, uh, just give me a second. So, Hansal Sutar, also known as Baba, is a civil construction management graduate who has pursued masters in technology and development from IIT Bombay, working for the Ministry of Rural Development as a consultant. He is also a singer-songwriter originally from Gujarat and currently based in Delhi. So we'll have a short performance from him, and soon after I'll do a short intro of our speaker, Saudamini, and we'll get started with the seminar. So over to you, Hansal.
Thank you so much, Vinayak. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, hello guys. Hope you are having a good lockdown time. And during this webinar, obviously, it's an interesting topic, and I just wanted to take you through because these days we are thinking of about our past days and how it things used to be. Like we used to go out, we used to do all these things. So it's kind of a nostalgic feeling nowadays for everything or every bit of our life. So I'm just gonna take you through the nostalgic journey of some pop songs that we really loved and we grew up listening to. So here we go. You, do you remember me like I remember you? Do you spend your life going back in your mind to that time? 'Cause I walk the streets alone. I hate being on my own, and everyone can see that I really felt I'm going to have think about you with somebody else. Somebody wants you, somebody needs you, somebody dreams about you every single night. Somebody can't be without you, it's lonely. Somebody hopes that when you will see that somebody's me, that somebody's me. कभी ऐसा लगता है दिल में एक राज है जिसे कहना चाहूँ पर मैं कह पाऊँ ना. आंखों ही आंखों में कह जाती है जो ये खामोशियों की ये कैसी जुबान. मैंने सुना जो न उसने कहा क्या ऐसा ही होता है प्यार. मेरे को बता मुझे इतना पता क्या ऐसा ही होता है प्यार. शाम सवेरे तेरी यादें आती है आके दिल को मेरे यूं तड़पाती है. ओ सनम मोहब्बत की कसम दिल के बिछड़ना तो दस्तूर हो गया, आके दिल को मेरे तड़पाती है। ओ सनम तेरी यादों की कसम, ला 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 ले, ला 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 ला, ला 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 ले, ला ला ला। डूब डूब रहता हूँ आँखों में तेरी, दीवाना बन गया हूँ मैं चाहत में तेरी। डूब डूब रहता हूँ आँखों में तेरी, दीवाना बन गया हूँ मैं चाहत में तेरी। अब दिन गुजरते नहीं, रातें कटते नहीं, तेरी तस्वीर से बात बनते नहीं। तो आजा, तो आजा, तो आजा। Thank you so much, guys. You can listen to my music and some originals on YouTube as well. You can just go to YouTube and search for my name. That's Hansal Suthar. Thank you so much, Vinayak. Thank you so much, team.
Thanks, Hansal, for that beautiful song. So let's get on with the webinar, and let me just quickly introduce the speaker. So our speaker for this evening today is Saudamini Sripada. Saudamini Sripada is a principal data scientist and has been associated with Microsoft R&D for the past 17 years. She has been working in the machine learning space for the past 6 years. Some of her major projects include automatic learning of technical help content from Windows logs, showing date prediction and pest forecasting for Indian farmers. She's currently working in automated complementary recommendation for clothes in Bing Shopping and has filed a couple of patents in this area. She has also published a few papers and conducted workshops within Microsoft. She has also presented in Grace Hopper and Synapse conferences. With that introduction, looking forward to the most anticipated computer vision topic. Let's begin with that. So over to you, Sripada. So let's start with the presentation. There's also before we just get on with the presentation, also you can see the slide that is up. So we have a social media challenge. Post about the event on your social media using the hashtag Scale Up Thursdays, and you can win a swag bag from Microsoft for Startups. So our team will be monitoring Twitter for this hashtag. So please use the hashtag and tell us any feedback about the webinar, or anything that you liked about, or anything you would like to explore. We would love to hear more about it. And the best tweet will win a swag bag from Microsoft for Startups. With that introduction, over to you, Saudamini. Let's start with the webinar, and you can meanwhile also ask Q&A, and I will help them relay to Saudamini as we go along the webinar.
Yeah, thanks Vinayak for the intro. So thank you everyone for joining this event. We are all locked down, so hope everyone is staying home and they're staying good. So without much delay, I will start the presentation. So like Vinayak said, you can meanwhile send any of your questions, and we'll take a break in between and we'll start answering the questions. So today's topic is cognitive services vision. So this is my caption: a picture is worth 1,000 words. So yes, we can decipher a lot of things from the picture. So the cognitive vision APIs help decipher those words from the image. Today we will talk about 9 different scenarios with the cognitive APIs. So the first one, so before we start these sessions, so I would like to give an overview of what we are going to do today. So that I will focus more on the demos, visualizing the capabilities of each of these scenarios, and I will also show the code. I also try to use some real life examples than using a standard uh, picture, standard demo examples that are available. So we'll show for each example, we'll explain the features, we'll show a demo, and then I will also show the Jupyter notebook. So you can even take away the Jupyter notebook after the presentation and you can try running some of the examples here. So I have assumed that all of you are comfortable with Python. So we'll use Python for the entire demo experiment. Only in the last place, I will use the C# for the custom vision project. So the first thing we'll talk about is a very basic vision capability, which is searching for the relevant images. You just enter a keyword or you search a given image, and then you will get all the relevant images related to either the text or the image. So which is basically available with the search engine also. The second one is the automatic caption generation. So from the given picture, will generate the cognitive APIs will generate an automatic caption. So we'll get more details about that. The third scenario is managing collection of photos. So if you have like album and you want to know what are the best pictures and more details about the entire collection, so the third scenario enables us to do that. The fourth scenario is face detection. This is one of the traditional APIs that cognitive services were providing. This is, I would say, the fundamental thing that is needed for any vision API. So the cognitive service can detect the
So
face and
Saudamini,
also the. Yeah,
so,
sorry.
sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
If you want to share the slides, you can share your screen as well.
Is it not shared yet? I thought it is
No,
already. Sorry.
that's your
Okay,
screen.
good that you have reminded me. Just give me a second. Okay. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, I can see now. Yeah.
Okay. It's good that you reminded. I was assuming that it's already shared.
Just to add to what Sodamini said, the IPython notebooks that she mentioned, as well as slides, will be available along with the video post the presentation. So over to you, Sodamini.
Yeah. So I was talking about these 9 scenarios. We were at face detection. Then there is also a scenario called object detection, not just face, but we can also detect the objects with coordinates from the given picture. Then the next advanced versions which are coming up are form recognition and ink recognition. So there has been more research happening in these areas. So the bare minimal form recognition is more like an OCR. So from printed text you can decipher the content with the coordinate information. So the cognitive APIs now they are able to do some more advanced scenarios, like they can also train from the given standard template of form, and they can also map them into key value pairs. So that we will talk later in the demo. Then the seventh scenario is ink recognizer, which is similar to form recognizer, except that it can also decipher the handwritten text. So this is a complex problem, and APIs are trying to build more and more advanced versions into this. The last one, the eighth one, which is a custom vision, which is one of my favorite. So you need not use an existing API for solving the problem, but you can build something on your own. So you can build an image classification problem, or you can build an object detection problem on your own, and you will be able to generate a model from this output. All that can be done within 5-10 minutes, and without any prior machine learning experience. I mean, with some context around machine learning basics, but you need not be an expert to solve this problem. So custom vision enables us with that functionality. So the last one is Windows video indexer. We talked about images so far. So video indexer.
Sorry to interrupt you. I think if you can just switch off your camera, I think
Okay. It
it
is
might be
taking some
slightly better.
bandwidth.
Yeah, so it'll save some bandwidth.
Is that better now?
Yeah, definitely better.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you. So the first application that we will talk about is, so these are some of the applications that the startups are already using. So to set some context, how Vision API will help us in the real life applications. So for example, Uber is using these face API recognition to verify the driver. Once they onboard to the car, they will verify that, oh, this is the same driver who has registered with the service. Similarly, Nisar is a company like they were having a laborious process of having this manual labor sitting at the water treatment process and alert the team when there is a foam at the end of the cycle. So the Vision Services has actually eliminated the need for the manual labor there. So we can automatically detect if there is a foam at the end of stage 4 and it can send an alert to the team automatically. So all this has been possible with the custom APIs. So the third one is an NGO thing. So Snow Leopard Trust, so they were working on conservation of snow leopards. So the challenge was like snow leopards were very difficult to spot in mountains, etc. So they had installed cameras everywhere. But looking at all these cameras for every 5 minutes frame is difficult. So image classification has helped them to filter the images with only images which contain the snow leopards. So these are some of the examples that I learned that, okay, this is where the Vision APIs have actually helped the real users. So this is the information on the languages support. So English support, yeah, English is supported. All features are supported in English. Japanese, Portuguese, and Spanish are also onboarded. Few features are not available with them yet. So those will be coming soon, as and when there is good quality for those languages. So what all we can do with these? So there is a Windows Store app called Intelligent Kiosk app. So I will be using this app for most of the presentation to demonstrate the capabilities. So you could also try installing it after the presentation. That gives us much overview of what all things are possible using the Vision Cognitive APIs. The second interface is for the custom vision. So this is an interface where you can actually go and train the images without any expertise on the machine learning side. Then the third one is video indexer, where you can upload a video and you can retrieve the metadata from video. So from a developer point of view, there are multiple interfaces available. We can hit the REST API directly, or there is also support for SDKs. So I will also show both version variations in the demo today. And the language support is extensive. So you can use Python or C# or Java, JavaScript, all the support is available. And in case if you have a privacy concern that you don't want to upload these videos to Azure Cloud, you can also run the APIs locally using container. So yeah, but you are built with this same amount of API calls that you produce on your local box. So this is the support available. So these are the prerequisites. So before trying to use any of these APIs, need a resource. So and also key and subscription key and endpoint are important. So these links will help us getting the resource key. Also for custom vision, we need both keys, like one for training and one for prediction. So I've given links on how to obtain these keys from the link. So before we start, Vinayak, are there any questions, or we can proceed with the?
No questions right now, but I'll stop you in between at some point and do maybe halfway through we can take questions.
Okay, okay. So this is the first application, search for relevant images. This is the standard Bing.com application. So so if someone is doing a coursework and they are doing a project preparation, they might want to search for a relevant image. So this support is available with Bing.com also. So I can show you small examples. If you go to the images vertical, you can see these images, and if you click on a single image, you can actually see all the similar images. It's not. Let me try to see if there is a full size picture. Okay. So these are the objects. So it can detect this as one object, and it has also detected the shoe as another object. So essentially, if you want to search for this object, you can retrieve the results for that specific object only. So you can see black dresses, or yeah, for dresses the problem is like sometimes it gets mapped to tops also because the length is short. So similarly, if you want to search for the shoes, you will be able to get like those shoes which are matching to this. So this functionality is also exposed as API, which is the bare minimum requirement for the image search. So I will show you the basic thing. So you have to obtain the service key and also the endpoint information from the resource, the link that I had shared earlier. So once you do that, so you can just invoke the SDK and you pass the query term, whatever query term that you want to search. So if you search for John Kennedy, it will retrieve all the information, metadata information about that particular image. So this is the thumbnail, this is the content, and there is all metadata information which is retrieved. So not necessarily that you just give the name of the celebrity, but if you are asking some questions about the image, then also it will retrieve the image with the corresponding metadata. So it's very specific things like Priyanka Chopra for Golden Globes Awards. It can understand the entities very well and will retrieve the image corresponding to that. So these are some examples of using text as the input and retrieving the corresponding images. So if you want to give an image as an input and retrieve all the similar images, so we will be using a Bing Visual Search API. So this is the API path. So you can either pass a local image, or you can also pass a remote image URL, and you can retrieve all the corresponding closest matches to the given image. So this is the whole JSON response. So you can parse all the thumbnails and content URLs which are retrieved for this particular image. So this is the first example. So then now we'll go to the next one. So which is the this one is automatic caption generation. So only given an image can it generate some caption. So along with caption, it also returns a lot of other information about the image. So let's see that example. So it can also detect persons, landmarks, the poses, etc. So I will show you a few examples of that. So this is the Intelligent Kiosk app that I was mentioning. So here you have to fill in the details of the key values once you get the keys, and provide the location value for which you have created the resource. So then you will be able to leverage all the apps that are available here. So I have tried to use some of my local images. So this one has actually predicted very well, like a person standing in front of a store. So it's able to detect, along with the caption, it has also detected tags like, oh, there is clothing item here, there is screenshot, there is footwear, and this is the text that it is talking about, there is a store. So this is the probability of that particular thing. And it also has detected some sort of color. There is a dominant yellow color in this particular picture. Similarly, so in this one, it said a group of people walking down the street. So this is really true. And for the person who is actually showing the front, even if it is tilted, it's able to detect the face. And these are some of the other tags that it has generated along with the content. So let's see the code part of it, like what all, how we can, what all things that we can decipher from the given image. So for this, initially I will be using the Vision 2.1 API, and assuming that the key and endpoint are already available. So I had given this image as an input, and the caption that it has generated, like it has detected the celebrity as Cara Delevingne standing in front of a crowd. So it has also detected the crowd and posing for the camera. So it has also detected the pose. Along with this, it has generated all this other information. It has detected this as category people. So people is a dominant category here. There is celebrity, name is so and so. And there is also a bunch of information about colors and tag information, etc. So then I had given this black and white picture. So for this, it has generated that the caption as a bridge over a body of water with city in the background. So it was able to detect all the other tags in this image. And along with this, for this black and white image, it has also said that yes, this is a black and white image. So in this case, it says, oh, Tom Hanks is wearing a suit and tie, smiling and looking at the camera. So Donald Trump, Melania Trump are posing for a picture with Taj Mahal in the background. So in this case, I have actually used the SDK and not the URL. So you can potentially use both of them. In some cases, the API will be much more close to the update, so you might get better features with the API. Otherwise, you can just invoke the SDK with describe image as a function, and it will return all the information about this particular thing. It will return landmarks, it will return the celebrities which are present in the image, tags, and a whole bunch of information. So yeah, so it can also detect pizza and other food items as well. So these are all automatic caption generation. So in case you don't want to do the automatic caption generation, but you want to leverage the other metadata that it generates to build your own caption, that's also possible. So it can give specific attributes like color, brand, etc. So in this case, for example, it has detected as Apple brand. It has also detected the color as gray. So you can build your own caption like gray Apple phone. Similarly, in this case, it has detected the car with black color, and also it belongs to a category called trans car, transportation and car. And it has detected the brand also as Mercedes-Benz. So this allows us to create the caption in our own description way. So these are all the supported categories. So these are all the categories which can be retrieved from the given image. If the image contains a house or mountain, outdoor, these are the plant variations, and these are the these are the different. This is a whole list of supported categories that are available. And finally, it can also give the type of the image. So it can say if it is a cartoon or it is a clip art or it's a drawing, etc. So these are like this pretty much covers all the variations that are possible through the image description. So you can also retrieve the information about the adult content for the image, brands, categories, color, description, the faces, how many faces are there. We'll go deep into the faces later. The type of the image, objects available, and the tag. So this is the whole rich information that you can retrieve from the given image. Okay. So this is the third application. So you have a whole bunch of pictures on your folder, and you want to manage the collection. So you want to know the from the digital photography information, like how good are the pictures, what are the good representation of the pictures, what is aggregated information that you can get from the pictures, etc. So I'll show you a small demo for that. This will take a while because the number of images are high and it needs to do a lot of deeper analysis of each and every image. So meanwhile, we can go to the next one, which is the face detection and matching. So the face detection is the most useful feature. So for example, we had done one sample project with the government of India to understand whether there are duplicate voter ID cards exist. So this is very easy, yeah, but the noise level and other are the important things. How well your face recognition algorithm is able to understand face with different poses and different noise levels is the key here. So the current face recognition algorithm can detect face, age, emotion, and it can also match face with other. For example, it can match the face in the one picture with the face in the group picture, or it can map faces in one picture with the collection of faces in the other album. So lot of variations are possible with this one. So we'll show you a sample thing here for the face API. So you can pretty much use the same API key for the face recognition also. So we have a group picture here with lot of faces with different ages, and we are using the same class client analyze images SDK, but we are sending faces as an input. So here we can retrieve faces of all the people in the group picture, and we can also get the age information for them, like, oh, this person is at 39 and this is the location. So I have cropped the images as per the location given from the API. So there is also another useful feature. You can also generate a thumbnail of the given image. So for example, if this is the original picture, so I wanted to generate a thumbnail with 75 by 75 image size, and it has actually generated a very good thumbnail with 75 by 75 dimension, and this is the image that it has generated. So the third example is like we have a picture, so single picture portrait, and then we want to see if this picture is present in the group picture. So that's also possible. So here I have also, there is also another SDK called Face Client. So you can get much more rich information when you use that Face Client API. So it has detected the face here, and then it has matched the face against all the faces which are present in this picture. So it was able to accurately map that, oh, this is the same person here. So this one is this one single picture, and then this is a sun picture. So now what, these are two pictures in the list. So these are two different images given by someone. So now we are trying to match if this person is same as this person here, though there is a lot more other detail in this picture. Both of them are actually same but at different angles. So our face recognition was able to detect that yes, dad3 and dad1 are same person, and dad3 and dad2 are also same person, and sun1 is not same as dad1. So you can do all these comparisons for the face using this algorithm. So yeah, so face recognition is one part. So now we will also talk about the object detection. So currently I'm working on one project called Goes Well With, so which is complementary recommendation. So if someone is trying to buy a shirt top, it can also suggest the complementary matchings, like, okay, this is the pant that goes well with the shirt and these are the shoes which goes well with the shirt. So that scenario we can, I will show like how we can achieve this using the object detection and visual search examples. So this feature will detect the objects, their location, their hierarchy in the given image. A thumbnail generation we have already seen. So this is the whole picture, and when we ran the object detection, it's able to detect 4 different parts of the given image. So this is the shirt, and this is the pant, and this is the board, skateboard. So I'll show how we can apply this to one simple project. So our goes well with scenario, like for example, this is the celebrity, and she is wearing this jeans with these t-shirt and these shoe, right? So we can actually break into pieces and we can retrieve that, oh, these are the shoes, these are the pant, and this is the shirt for the celebrity. So then we can try to search for the shoe and pant separately in the catalog. So we may have a private catalog. So we can use the visual search to search for this particular pant. So we can get that, oh, this is the pant which is available in the catalog. So then we can recommend this pant with the given shirt. So that way, similarly, we can search for the shoe and then identify what is the closest shoe that is available in the catalog, and we can recommend the shoe with the pant. So this is one example where we can use a goes well with and build. Same thing we can do with the interior parts also. If you want to show recommendation of interior design, what goes well with what. So same thing can be extended there as well. So these are the very trivial and useful API application so far. So this one is the most useful.
So do you want to, sorry to interrupt you. So Damini, do you want to maybe take a few questions? There have been a few questions so far.
Yes, yes.
So quickly we can take them. Just give me a second. I'll just ask you the questions. So for the first question is how similar or different this is from AWS Rekognition?
So I am not aware of the AWS thing. I have worked on Azure Cognitive Services only, so I cannot answer that comparison question.
Okay. So from what I have seen of AWS Rekognition, again, I have also not looked at AWS Rekognition in the recent past, but this does a lot more about, like finding faces from there when it comes to object detection. And we have been told by clients who have migrated as well that the accuracy is also much better. And one of the things about Microsoft is the training data sets are fairly diverse, right? Like for example, when it comes to face, we actually have in our database training set data from all across the world, right? So it's a fairly representative sample set and not just trained on, say, people from developed or Western countries or, white males. So we have a fair mix of training data, and actually that shows up in the accuracy as well. So that
to add to that, I would say that because we also have the asset called Bing Images Vertical. So we have a lot of capabilities on the image processing because we have spent extensive time in refining the image search in the image search vertical. So those capabilities are also included into the cognitive services, which adds, and all, like you said, the diversity and all these things will come because we have search logs and we have been understanding the image search in a better way.
Okay. The next question is, can we, I think you will probably be addressing this in the upcoming slides, but can we add our own training data or already trained models to get a custom detector for a specific use case?
Yes, I will show that example.
Yeah, so I think to answer that question, I answered that in the chat. So basically we use a technique called transfer learning to detect and adapt based on the training data that is there. And I think that will be discussed also in the custom vision. And the last question is, can we get a list of supported categories?
So I think I have shown in the Jupyter notebook. So there are around 80 categories which are supported. So I'll just show that again.
Okay. A couple more questions have since come in since we started talking. So, so for Face API, if I pass an image of the same person with age 8 and one with age 28, will it be able to recognize?
Same person with age 8 and age 28.
Yeah,
Achha,
at different points in time.
That's a difficult problem. It might be able to give with some percentage threshold, but it's really on what percentage. It also generates a confidence. So it's really on you, like how much confidence that you will want to add the threshold.
Yeah, and to add to that, what Saudamini said, right? Like, I mean, especially with kids and the way they look later on in life, I think there's a stark difference, right? But like if you say, even if the age difference is say 10 years, there will be a stark difference between 5 and 15 as compared to say 15 or 25 or 25 and 35, right? So that also matters, like how your face changes as you age.
Yeah, that's the
So
reason why the passports also ask for a change in the picture for every 5 years. So it's even difficult for someone manually also to validate that.
yeah, I think all of us
As you
have
mentioned,
had.
yes.
Yeah, all of us have had that kind of experience, right? Going to the visa officer and then he looks at the photo in the passport, which is typically slightly older than how we look now. Yeah. One more question. I think mostly housekeeping. That where can I see the Jupyter notebooks to follow the code along? So that we'll be sharing after the webinar. And what couple more questions actually. Questions are coming thick and fast. So, how accurate face detection differentiates between photo versus real image in face detection, like liveness check?
So face detection doesn't give us the liveness check. But if you want to do the image type check, whether this is a picture versus this is an art kind of thing, that you can use the image type.
Okay, so basically you cannot use it for biometrics. Okay. I think the last question before we move on is can you throw some light on emotion detection?
Yes, I will show that right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So I think I'll stop here and then we can resume the presentation because I think many of the questions are getting answered in the second half. Thanks,
Yes,
Saudamini.
and
Over to
also
you.
people are more interested in the face API looks like. So I will show more details on the face API recognition. So I have kept it ready meanwhile. So this is Priyanka Chopra in tilted direction, so it can still detect the face, coordinates well. Is this is tentatively same as when she has taken the picture. It can also detect the other variables for the face, like it can say the hair color, if she's wearing a glasses, whether she's wearing an eye makeup, accessories. So someone asked about the emotion. Yes, we can detect like these variations of the emotion. Here it's like fully happiness. There is no question about any other emotion here. And it can also detect the pose, the angle with which she is posing, like what is the head tilt angle, what is the chin angle, what is the face rotation. It can also detect the image quality, how much exposure that she has, it's a good or medium, or and what is the noise levels for this. Let me show you another example. So let me pick up a male. So this is the gender and this is his age. So these images I have picked randomly from the internet, not some standard examples. He is having gray hair, and so it also detects the facial hair. He is not wearing any makeup. Then emotion, happiness, contempt, somewhat neutral is also somewhat. Then it can also detect the angle with which his head is tilted. So these are the various features that it can generate for the face API. Okay, so let's move to the custom vision part, which is I will also show you the form recognition thing, which is also actually pretty good. So we'll go back to the app. So for example, you can have an invoice, you can have a receipt, or you can have anything. So this one will detect the bounding box information for all the text which is available. So there is also another scenario available here where you can create a new scenario and you can just add 5 images here. So for example, these 5 invoices are given. So then it can also detect what is the variable parameter in the form versus what is the constant parameter, and accordingly it will generate a key value pair for this. So for example, in all these examples, the invoice number is constant, VAT ID is constant, and these are the variables. So it can actually create a key value pair for this information. So address is this one, invoice is for so and so person, and this is the invoice number, this is the invoice state. So it can return the JSON key value pair for all this information. So which is something newly added to the cognitive API services, so which I feel is pretty useful. So there are a lot more variations here. I have also tried using my milk receipts, and I will show you that in the code example how it was able to decipher. I have also tried to add 10 rupee note and 50 rupee note templates and see if it's able to detect the currency information. It is able to. So this is one useful feature. I will also show the ink recognizer. So for example, it can detect the handwritten text. I'm trying to write something, and it can detect that content into well-written text form. Currently English, some sort of Spanish is available, but I'm not sure how much. Yeah, but for English it works perfectly well. We can also write some shapes, and then it can create a proper shape from that. So I will show the code for this part, the form recognition as well as the ink recognition part. So here we will be using a preview version of the code form recognizer, which is in the preview version, so which has more features. So this is the image. Even though it is tilted and some of the content is blurred, it's still able to detect the information about these are the coordinates, and this is the text that it's able to detect from this image. And this is the handwritten text. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So it works beautifully for this, and you can see actually the actual printed text which is about this text, which is the text which is deciphered from the handwritten text. So I have also tried to use some milk bill receipt to see how much accurately it's able to predict, and it has actually accurately predicted the printed text. Along with it, it's able to predict the handwritten text also well. 1930 rupees, 1678 rupees. It's able to actually detect the handwritten text also pretty good. So for this advanced feature, you might need to use the new API. So this is the 3.0 preview for read and analyze. It is also part of analyze API, but use a different endpoint. So we will be able to understand the form recognition better. And like I said, if you want to train on 5 images, it will also map it to key value pairs. That feature is also available. I have not used it, but I have given link in the PPT. So if you want to try it, you can try programmatically also. Okay, so then we will move to the custom vision part. Vinayak, so quick check on time, or like how much time we have?
We have about 10 minutes, but okay. I think we can probably go over by 5 to 6 minutes. Okay. For taking Q&A.
Okay. So this is the custom vision API web interface. So we can create a new project here, and you can mark whether this is a classification problem or object detection problem. Again, you can say there are multiple tags for the image, or one image falls, whether you're doing a multi-label versus multi-class problem. There are multiple domains available here, but if you generate in the general compact mode, you will be able to export your model eventually, and you will be able to use that model and load the model also outside this interface. So when you select the general compact, it provides the basic platforms like TensorFlow, CoreML, NNX, etc. So you will be able to export the output to these models. So Vision AI Dev Kit is a IoT platform. So if you want to use an IoT interface, you can export to this one as well. So I will show some pre-created examples. Then we can also try to create one if we have time. So this is a style classifier. So I have tried to create a classification problem for the clothing categories. So I have given few images. These are the variations of the images, like there are some bags, there are some dresses, pants, shoes, t-shirts, etc. So I'm trying to see how accurately it can detect the given category. So I have already, once you add these images, you can tag them. So you can add the image and you can write the tag there. So this is a bag or this is a category. Or once you add the images, you can also click them and you can write the tag here. So that's how you can do the tagging. And then you can click on training. So there are two options in the training. Quick training happens very fast. Typically, if you have very less images, you can do it. If you want to do an advanced training, you can do from 1 hour to 24 hours. You can select any number depending on how many images that you want to train. And also it maps to the budget, Azure budget, and then you will be charged accordingly. So once you train the model, you can do a quick test. So you can add a local any file, and then you see how what is the prediction for this one. So for this one, it has predicted as bags with 98% probability. So the accuracy is pretty good. So you can do everything here. You can train, you can test, and you can do everything. So the bare minimal requirement is you just need to have 5 images per category. So for this model to be created, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have added just 25 images, and it has given pretty decent output for the style classification problem. So I have also created an object detection thing. So which I did yesterday evening itself. So basically you have to select an image and then tag the image with various objects. So I have used these examples. These are the celeb styles images. And then once you add the image, you can mark them and then tag them. Okay, this is a shirt, this is a pant, this is a bag. So I focused on 3 aspects: shirt, pant, and bag. And then I have marked these images. And I have also created objects with only the images with just that objects, like only bag, only shirt, only pant, etc., just to increase the confidence of that particular category. So you need to have at least 15 images per object for this object detection to run. And this is the same, like you click on train and then you go to the quick test, and you can add any new image and you will be able to see the prediction here. So I've added these images. So it has, so if you click here, it showed that, oh, this is shirt with this much probability, this is pant, and this is bag. And same with this image, it has detected this as shirt, bag, and pant with the various probabilities. So if you want more, for object detection problem is slightly complicated because the bounding box is the tricky thing. So if you want to more accuracy, you can add more training images and more accurate bounding box information, then you will be able to get much more accurate results for the object detection problem. So the other thing, I want to show the other things, like not everyone just wants to do the UX thing, right? People also want to be able to write code and upload here, right? So you can also write a programming interface for this classification problem. So this is one classification problem where we are giving 2 different types of trees. So Japanese cherry and hemlock. So you're giving images of 2 different trees. And the same thing that we did from the UX, we are able to write the code here. So essentially you need 2 keys for this to work. So one is the training key and one is the prediction key. So I have given the link how to obtain these keys from the Aero resource. So you can create a new project and you can add these images from localvox. And once you create these images, you can train the project and you can get that iteration. Like if you train multiple times, your iteration will be increased. And once you finish that thing, then you can also predict with the given image, like what is the probability for this given thing. So I can run this. Meanwhile, I can show you that the same output is uploaded here. Once I finish running the code, you can also see like what all the images that were used for training. So these are all the images that were used for training. This is Japanese cherry versus this is hemlock tree. And this is my prediction, and it was able to detect this as hemlock with 100% probability. So you can also play with this. Once you write the code, you can see the output here in much more meaningful way. So yeah, this is the key for this particular thing. And also, if you want to export a current project, I will show that one also. See, the project is already uploaded. Whatever I have run locally, it is already uploaded. And then this is the new classification problem created. So for example, if you want to upload the output to a known model, you have to, like I said, when you are creating the project, you have to create with general compact mode, and then you can choose to export into whatever platform that you want. And once you select TensorFlow, for example, you can download that model file, and then you will be able to load that file outside. So yes, these are the capabilities that are supported by the Custom Vision API. So in case if you want to use a different model or augment it, so this is an easiest way. You can create a model from here and you can augment with your existing model, and then it will be able to give better results. So yes, this is the Custom Vision part. So I will not spend much time on the video indexer. I will just introduce you the capabilities of the video indexer. So this is video indexer.ai. So I have uploaded few videos, and once you upload the videos, you just have to run that video. So these are some of the small videos that I have uploaded. So you can see the metadata that was extracted from this video. So like it has detected it as there are trees, plants, whatever tags that it has found in the video. How many scenes are there? What is the key scene? What are the key frames? So for this small image, and this is slightly bigger video, you can even get the transcription of that entire video. I have already run the indexer for this. So you can see that these are the three faces that appear in the video. Even if you click that particular person, you can play and then you can see the corresponding video frame for that particular person. See, this has actually appeared in the video, and it can detect all the possible things that appeared in the video. So like tree, vehicle, car, etc. And these are the key 8 scenes in this video. So how many shots are there? How many keyframes are there? And you can see the entire timeline, the conversation that happened in that video. You can see that entire timeline and the transcription in the text format. So yes, there is also programming support available for the video indexer. I have also provided the link in the reference section. If you are interested, you can. So this is the video indexer part. So I have also given the references section on how to deploy custom vision model in a mobile, how to use video indexer from C#, how to use containers, how to train a custom form recognizer and face detection using API. you can get much more richer details from the API. So you can even play more after this presentation and you can try more things. Okay, that's it from my side. We can take any questions.
Yeah, so I mean, just give me a second. I'll pull up the questions. There have been quite a few questions actually.
Okay.
Just give me a second. So one of the questions was, if you use a front-facing camera, how accurate is it, especially in low light conditions? For face recognition.
So face recognition, I felt it's been a long one and it has been iterating and it is having good quality because it's also used in the live case. So I have, if you install Intelligent Kiosk, you can actually try some examples which use a front-facing camera. I have tried those examples and it has worked good for me. So I feel confident that yes, you can even try with the front-facing camera and it will be able to detect the face recognition well.
Cool. So just to add to what Saudamini said, one of our customers, which everyone knows and has probably used, Uber, uses face recognition to actually match the photo to the driver. I think they do it in the US, but I'm for sure, but I don't know if they do it in other geographies as well. So yeah, I mean, and as you know that this has to work in pretty much every condition for such a large company to use it. The next question is, can you match signatures, right? I think because we talked about forms and checks also possibly. So yeah.
So one is you can do you can do a OCR on the signature and try to compare the two outputs from the handwritten text. But matching text absolutely is like image to image comparison.
Okay. So for the next one, so for the Forms API, that is the Forms Recognize API, do we need to submit some n number of images of category to pre-train it before actually using it, or the common pre-training data already exists? Example for expense receipts and food bills.
So for example, if it's already known form, it can show the whatever key values that it can decipher. For example, it can understand name, address, and those kind of things. Otherwise, if it is a new receipt and you want to generate new key value pairs, you need 5 receipts of that kind. Otherwise, it will return the bounding box information. It will not be able to do a key value mapping.
Right. One more question about custom vision. How do you integrate custom vision with other systems? Example, an app where image is captured, and if you need to integrate with custom vision for processing the image and displaying the custom vision output to the app end user. So how do you integrate custom vision in your platform?
Essentially, the C# interface is available, and also the model is can be exported. You can use that model.pb, the labels information, whatever is available, and you can load into your code and use it. That is one way. The second way is the custom vision API is also you can publish. So you can also publish that as a service in the Azure portal. So it is like using any other service. So you can invoke that service with the input and you can get the output response. So we have 2 ways to support that interface.
Cool. One more question is again about image recognition. Can we detect if an image has been tampered with?
As far as I have seen, I did not see that attribute in the image analysis part. It can give you the details about how good is the quality, etc. But I don't know whether it can say if it's tampered or not.
Okay. So a question from Ankit Tiwari: will it work in good sync with Amazon S3 buckets? I guess it should work with Amazon S3 buckets. You'll have to figure out, how to connect the two clouds together. But all the API requires is, you to send it an image and then it will give back. It doesn't care where that image comes from, whether it comes from a cache, whether it comes from Azure Blob Storage, or any kind of file system. Yeah.
You can just give the URL and it will parse it, download that URL and do processing on top of it. It really doesn't matter where the URL, where the image resides.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think the final question is, can the video indexer detect liveness in the object?
Liveness in the object. Okay. Only way to know is if the same face appears multiple times with multiple angles, then you will know that the object is moving. I really don't know for this one. Like it can say if it is a live object or non-live object. You can infer that through the other means, but there is no direct attribute available to say, oh, this is live object versus non-live object.
Okay. Cool. Give me a second. I think we have a winner for the we have a winner for the tweet challenge. And
okay. Thank you everyone for staying till the end and then asking good questions.
Yeah, thank you, Saudamani. Just give me a second. We'll just put up the slide for that for the winner. Yeah, the winner is actually Rachel Abraham, and I'll just share my screen so that you can see it.
We can see it already.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, so thank you everyone. It was great having Saudamani here over, and learning so much about the Custom Vision API. And the use cases were extremely varied. Thank you so much. And with this, I think we'll stop the webinar, and soon you will receive the slides soon along with the Python notebooks. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks everyone for staying with me for this one and a half hour. Thank you so much.